Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing really well. We recently left the last year behind us, and for many, it was a difficult year and a hard year, or even a painful year. And that doesn't mean that something that was hard didn't have beautiful moments too, of course. Or it doesn't mean that acknowledging that something was difficult lacks gratefulness for all the beauty that it also contained. But that is the truth for a lot of people. And I think myself included. And obviously there's no shame in that for encountering some difficulties here and there. And I think acknowledging them and looking at them in the eye can be a very powerful tool that one should hold dear, in my own personal, humble opinion. So with that in mind, today's video is a little bit different, but also maybe not. I wanted to sit down with you today and have a very relaxing and introspective hangout, let's say, where I would like to do my EFT tapping routine for you, in the hopes that maybe it will help you, or maybe it will relax you, or it will just give you a new piece of information for a conversation piece. In any way, I wanted to do this because I feel that leaving the year behind and entering a new one, like I mentioned, this could be stressful for people, or it could be a little bit difficult, or maybe just you would like to move forward more relaxed or peaceful. Whatever this may mean to you, and for whichever reason you may have clicked, I would like to share this with you, and hope that it will benefit you in any way that you choose. For anyone that is unfamiliar with the concept, EFT therapy stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And EFT tapping specifically is a tapping technique that is used in accordance with the meridian lines that go through the body, based to Chinese medicine, and it follows the acupressure and acupuncture points that are used as energy flow triggers, meaning to allow for the better flow of one's energy through their own body. Tapping specifically is, of course, acupressure, not acupuncture, as it doesn't use anything invasive and also uses minimal strength and is evident and proven that it can help with anxiety, stress, negative thought patterns, sleep problems, as well as it can be used as a grounding technique to bring one's awareness back into their body. For these specific exercises, this tapping EFT exercise, I will be following and showing you what my therapist at some point had told me a few years ago, the points she shared with me, and the vocal part that goes along with it that I was shown. Of course, you can look it up online or speak to a licensed professional where they could tell you more about it, and they could show you a different technique or a different way of doing it. But I will be doing my own routine since that's what I know, and this is what has helped me. And I would urge you to try to learn a few more things about it if it's something that would interest you, and actually get information from a healthcare professional or a licensed therapist on that specific regard. And I would just like to remind you that I'm just showing you my own routine based on what I was told. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that this is what works for my body. So the 9 points that I will be using in this tapping session, starting from how I actually start on my body and ending to where I actually finish off on my body. There are 9, like I said, and it goes, 1 is the karate chop. I will not be using what they represent in the body, just where they are located. So it's the karate chop. The second one is in the eyebrows, here on your brow bone. And the third is on the side of your eye here, the temples. Then the third is under the eye here, where your cheekbone would begin. Then the fourth is under the nose, here in this part between the lip and the nose. Then it's the chin, right here. Then it is the beginning of your collarbone, so it would be here. Then it is underneath your armpit, here your arm, and somewhere above your ribs. If you've ever worn a bra, it would be where your bra usually is. So a palm below end of your armpit. And then the last point is the crown of your head here, the top of your head. These are the 9 points that I always include, and I always go with 2 circles. One is a negative circle, sort of, meaning I vocalize the negative emotion and thought that I am having. So that helps with acknowledging it and realizing it. And then the second cycle is vocalizing the positive aspect. So it is saying that I have this feeling, but I accept and love me regardless. Okay? If you've never done this before, it might seem a little bit silly to you. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, it felt strange to do an exercise like this. especially because it's best to say it out loud, and that way you are fully aware and all of your senses are taking part in the process. And what it is suggested that you do is that you identify the issue. For example, you feel stressed or scared or anxious because something happened, or someone is sick, or someone crossed your boundaries, or you were reminded of something traumatic. Whatever your reasons may be, you identify the issue in the moment which is making you feel uncomfortable. Then you identify the intensity. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad or how anxious am I? Usually when I needed to do this, I was over a 7, usually around 8 or 9. After you identify the intensity, I would do the negative circle first, then the positive circle then, and would finish off with identifying the intensity after that positive circle. I would take a deep breath, feel the state of my body and how I feel in my body. And then I would say, okay, the intensity is now dropped to a 6 or to a 5. If I felt it didn't change, I would maybe repeat the whole thing as many times as they were necessary. Okay? So to start off, I have a little candle over here. I have a little bit of sage. So I'm doing this for me as sort of a self-care form. I did actually today that I was strongly inclined on filming this, even though it hadn't crossed my mind. It was actually a bit of a stressful day, and I felt emotions of anxiety. And I don't know, I think it's interesting that my brain thought of doing this video. Maybe it's a way of telling me I needed this. But either way, I would like to light this, leave this on the side, and just sort of ground myself and my mind and my brain, sending you as much positivity as I can. Okay. So for this example, and for this cycle, I will be using, I think, a simple negative thought, which is very relevant to what I've been feeling today. A little bit restless, a little bit anxious. I'm not sure as to why, so I can't say I felt anxious because, but I think a good because would be maybe I feel a little bit scared and anxious about what the new year will bring. So my negative cycle will be I feel anxious because the unknown scares me, let's say, okay? And then my positive affirmation cycle will be even though I feel anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love me. And again, this might feel a little bit strange. Looking at it might feel strange. Listening to it, doing it. But I think it could also help a few people here and there. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Okay, let's start. I feel anxious because the unknown scares me. I feel anxious because the unknown scares me. I feel anxious because the unknown scares me. anxious because the unknown scares me. I feel 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 anxious because the unknown scares me. Okay. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. And the second time, even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. Even though I felt anxious because of the unknown, I accept and love myself. I would like to take a deep breath in, hold for a few seconds, and blow a deep breath out. I will do this 2 times as well. And that was it. I forgot to mention before that I do each cycle 2 times. By cycle, I mean the negative and the positive. Sometimes I would even go with 3. So I would say negatives 3 times and then the positive 3 times. If you feel compelled to yawn at any point, let your body react the way it wants. For me, it's a sign that it is working. My body surrenders to the feeling of perhaps comfort. It surrenders in acceptance, and that brings on me a feeling of looseness, if I could say that. A nice, comfortable feeling. Obviously, it doesn't always end on a positive note. A few times I have to say it again or have another go. But in this particular moment, if my entire day has been an intensity of, let's say, 6, I would like to say that I think I am now at a nice 4, with a good potential for that number to grow even smaller. So I would like to thank you for watching this video, and I would like to thank you for trusting me with your time and your comfort, your sleep, or whatever it is that you're watching these, your entertainment. I hope this was helpful in any way that you needed it to. Please let me know if it helped, or if it worked, or if you knew about this, or if you disliked it. And I will see you soon in the next one. Thank you.